And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 3,000 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher level of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our new number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas. One aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to see the switch and hear the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. As we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll protect everyone. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. To continue, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
K9VKV WD8LRM.
Station calling. Come back with your call sign slowly phonetically.
This is Whiskey Delta 8, Lima Romeo Mike. Name is Glenn.
Roger, Glenn, and what's your location, please?
Roger, Glenn, and what's your location, please? I'm in northeast Ohio, small town of Loudonville, halfway between Cleveland and Columbus, Ohio.
Roger, Glenn, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Glenn, and what radio are you running today, sir? I'm running a DX10.
Yes, sir. Well, gosh, if you would like some setup, I have notes on that DX10. It's a great radio. First thing would be to be sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass. That will give you the best performance for your transmitter, right, Roger?
Performance for your transmitter, right, Roger? Affirmative.
No, are you familiar with that TBW position there? It probably has, I think that 10 has 3 options, and 100 to 2900 is one of those?
100 to 2900 is one of those? I'm not sure about that. I'm not very familiar with the radio yet.
Ah, well, make a note then that you want to be sure. Now, you know, most of the times everything's cool, and that radio, when you buy it, is in the wide mode. But I have seen some that you know, came back, say, from repair, and they're not in that wide mode. And what happens is, if they're in those lesser modes, then that starts messing with your top end and starts rolling off your top end. We want to maximize the Silvic range, which is in the top end, for maximum articulation. Roger?
For maximum articulation, Roger. Affirmative.
So, Glenn, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and just let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger?
Look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger. Affirmative. This is Whiskey Delta 8. So Mike, Loudon, we're running on the DX10. We're running a simple dipole inverted V configuration at 45 feet at the apex, and it runs basically east and west in orientation. It's on a 45-foot tower at the apex. The ends come down to a tree and another shed, giving the angles which I'm not real sure of. So, back to you, K9VKV WD8LRM.
Roger, Roger. Now, Glenn, what kind of mic are you running there?
Glenn, what kind of mic are you running there?
I'm running the stock handheld with the mic, with the radio. That's all I have present to check. So it is what it is for today on the microphone.
Yes, sir. Well, I have a suggestion for you on that mic and how to run it. Pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk into it. Pull it to the corner of your lips. Actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. That will reduce a lot of mouth noise and other noises that you don't want to broadcast. Roger?
That you don't want to broadcast. Roger?
Affirmative. That's basically where I have it right now. How's that sound there?
Oh, that was excellent. That was excellent. I couldn't tell that you were on a hand mic, and that's the thing, you know. Usually, I can spot that right off because people, pull that mic right in front of them and start talking, and you can't do that. It just makes too much noise. So the way you just did it is just ideal. Now, if you'd like to take some notes, since you're unfamiliar with your radio, maybe I can give you some notes that when you have time at your leisure, you can look in the book and figure out where they are and how to adjust them. Roger?
Figure out where they are and how to adjust them. Roger?
Affirmative. That would be helpful.
Yes, sir. So after we make sure that radio is in the wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, we move to our processor, and we want that on a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. It just depends on how, if it's labeled 0 to 100, we want it on 30. If it's labeled 0 to 10, we want it on a 3. Just a third of that compressor processor capability. Roger?
Compressor processor capability. Roger?
Affirmative. You're talking about just the processor level?
Yes, sir. Usually, most radios we're going to have one input level. Some radios have an output level and an input level, and we deal with that. Usually that's like 50 in, 50 out, 5 in, 5 out to start, and then see where that goes. But most radios just have an input level control, and we just want it on a third of that compressor processor capability, which is, like I told you, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
A 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Affirmative.
Okay, then after you get that in there, move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, don't stress it, just say it, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 7. Running 7 on your ALC meter by saying audio and adjusting the mic gain control to get you to 7 on your ALC meter. Roger?
To get you to 7 on your ALC meter. Roger?
Affirmative. I have that down.
All right, and then into your EQ, equalization or tone control or whatever they want to call it, and we want to brighten it just a little bit to make sure we get that articulation up. And so we would usually suggest a +3 clicks treble boost from where you are on that treble control on your EQ. Roger?
On that treble control on your EQ. Roger?
+3 on the treble.
Yes, sir, and maybe one minus on the bass, and we want to make sure that the mid-range is flat. That mid-range is flat. The whole idea behind an equalizer is to strike a balance between the top treble control and the mid-range, and the bass control and the mid-range. So much so that the 7300 and the 7610 don't even bother putting a mid-range control in there because they want you to keep that flat. So what happens is if you start playing with that mid-range tone control, if you boost it, it makes it so much harder for the top and the bottom to catch up for balance. So just make that mid-range control flat or off, depending on which is easier.
Flat or off, depending on which is easier.
Okay, I have that.
Roger, and gosh, maybe you've got all those notes. Maybe you can crank those in at your leisure, and then join us next Friday, and we'll see how all that sounds. And in between now and then, if you'd like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call to a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
Oh, that would be very helpful. I did not get your name. I'm very sorry. And I do have one question. I wonder if you could give me any input on a headset. I'm thinking of possibly investing in a headset somewhere along the line. And I was wondering about the Heil headsets with this particular radio.
Well, gosh, I really don't have any favorites there. You just have to do your research and figure it out. I would suggest if your radio is capable of running an electret microphone that is battery powered on the audio line of your mic input, I would suggest that that headset be an electret headset, electret microphone in that headset, because it'll be so much cleaner on the top end. Roger?
Cleaner on the top end. Roger.
And also, we're looking to, usually I suggest running that boom microphone out just as far as you can get it in front of you, and just at the last minute take a 90. So you get that mic out in front of you as far as you can get, and then make that 90 to try to keep it away from your mouth. Roger?
Keep it away from your mouth. Roger?
Affirmative.
So that's it, and I'm sure there's a fine assortment of Heil microphones out there. That man was just immaculate as far as audio. He really understood all about audio. For a long time, most of his microphones were dynamic, so to speak. The elements were dynamic microphones, and then I think towards the end he was doing a lot of electret microphones. Roger?
Electret microphones. Roger?
Affirmative. Yeah, big loss when we lost him.
Yes, sir. Definitely a father of amateur radio, and he had lives before that in rock and roll. The man was just everywhere doing everything, and he will be missed.
We're doing everything, and we will be missed.
So let me say threes to you, Glenn. Why don't you crank in those things over a period of time as you become familiar with your radio, and then give me a shout back next Friday afternoon, and we'll see how they all sound, Roger?
Next Friday afternoon, and we'll see how they all sound, Roger?
Very good. How does this sound from a starting point there on a scale of 1 to 10?
Roger. Well, let me just say this about that. Maybe you want to, what's the current reading of your mic level control?
The current reading of your mic level control?
The mic, mic level is at 30.
Okay, pull that up to 50. Go ahead and take that on up to 50, Roger.
Up to 50? Go ahead and take that on up to 50, Roger.
Okay, there we are.
Okay, remember to keep that mic to the corner of your lips, Roger.
To keep that mic to the corner of your lips, Roger.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if that improved it or not.
Yes, sir. I'm watching your audio on a VU meter, and I can tell by the way the VU meter hangs as to what your dB level is. Unprocessed signal is a 10 dB dynamic range, and we're looking to shorten that up to about 3 dB for broadcast because of the noise that we run into with these radios. And so right now I think you're running about 3.5, 4 dB dynamic range, which is really close. And when you set your mic level, I think you'll realize that this is pretty close, Roger.
Mic level, I think you'll realize that this is pretty close, Roger.
Roger.
All right, sir, and I think we got it, and so I wish you well. You have a good afternoon, and like I say, these audio tracks will be available at YouTube by noon tomorrow. Just do that, call it a search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Roger?
KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Roger?
Roger, and I thank you so much. 7-3s.
Yes, sir, 73. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
And if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Well, it saddens me to report that my good friend and fellow ham Charlie K1GZL became an SK last Friday morning at 6:15 a.m. Charlie was 91 years old and headed for 92 in July. He had been quite ill for some time, but Charlie was a great ham, having dedicated his whole life to amateur radio. His passing is a great loss to our radio community and to me personally. The term SK rings much deeper now that it's associated with K1GZL. May he continue to have good propagation in whatever form that takes. I first met Charlie back in October of 2018, and in our first conversation he talked about working for the American Radio Relay League, better known as the ARRL, back in 1951. He did not last long there. It had something to do with putting up the wrong code practice tape, which was broadcast around the world. The problem was it was running at a much higher speed than announced. It was near triple what was supposed to be, but Charlie had already left the building and only learned about it later after many unhappy code copiers could not copy the code transmission for that evening. But then nobody's perfect, and we all make mistakes. And Charlie would laugh about it later, saying, well, what do you expect from a phone guy? Charlie's amateur radio career dates back to 1948, when he was just a lad with his dad. His father was a ham radio operator also, and helped Charlie along the way. There was a large map of the world in his father's radio shack, and it was covered with thumbtacks that represented radio contacts that they had made around the world. And I'm sure that played a major part in Charlie's love for DXing. Part of Charlie's ham radio career included running phone patches to folks up in the cold Arctic Circle. But his favorite contacts were down under, meaning AUSSIELAND. And if it wasn't Australia, it was Tasmania. And sometimes these contacts were made with as little as 84 milliwatts for a 10,000-mile trip. In addition to his Aussie and Tasmanian friends, Charlie also had a lot of friends in this country. like Craig, WA3ZDI, and Jim, WA3FET. But one friend he always enjoyed talking to the most was Captain Mike up in the Jet Aeronautical Mobile. And in addition, believe it or not, Charlie was even talking to the birds up there in his home QTH of Clarksville, New Hampshire. These birds were honking out CW, and Charlie was copying the mail. He said they sure transmitted a lot of D's for some reason. Charlie's QTH looked more like a sailboat marina than a house. What with all those kinds of antennas that he was working on, indeed, he was an antenna specialist, an antenna master. But how he maintained all those antennas is a story within itself. Well, all said and done, I will greatly miss Charlie, K1GZL, and it was always a pleasure when he joined me in opening up our Qso-Vlog network. I just want to say thanks, Charlie, for a great 6-year run on my Qso-Vlog network. You will be missed. Rest in peace. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
A radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Yeah, let's see, Jim. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I talked to you last week.
Yes, sir. And let's see here. What's the call sign?
Yes, sir. And let's see here. What's the call sign?
I'm sorry, we doubled. What's your call sign?
I'm sorry, we doubled. What's your call sign?
November 4 Zulu. You got me now?
Yes, sir. I got you about 4 dB over the Kentucky SDR that I'm using at the moment. What's the name there?
The SDR that I'm using at the moment. What's the name there?
Okay, Jim. Don, Delta Ontario, November. And, yeah, I'll copy you fine. Just wanted to thank you. I've been getting good reports from the setup we did last week. I did put a double windscreen over the headphones, or over the mic on this boom set. So I do have a double screen now, over.
Roger, roger. Now let me see what I can do on my Hocus Pocus SDR receiver. I've got, I should have 3 locations down in Tennessee. Let's see here. Let me get past all this stuff and I get down to Tennessee here. This gives me about 3 locations for each of 20 states. And let me see here. You're going to Tennessee. PQ. Come on, stylus. Oh, okay. My stylus does not, or the pad doesn't want to work with that. And I have Nashville, so let me punch up Nashville, or try to punch up Nashville, and see what we have there. Nashville's not coming up. Come on, Nashville. Let me try Knoxville. Wow. I don't know where, but let me see what Tipton does. I'm not sure where Tipton is, but let me try that and see if it's any better. How about it, Glenn? You got a copy now?
In about 1 minute, I'll have the amp on, so it'll be another 10 dB.
Yes, sir. Well, I sure am waiting for that. I can definitely need that. And let me go back to my Kentucky SDR. I think that's going to be the answer right there. In addition to your boost of power, it is never fails to amaze me about how an increase in power affects the audio quality. It seems, although it doesn't really, the audio quality is still the same, but it just, I guess, sounds nicer with that less noise in there. Okay, I'm back on my Kentucky SDR.
Kentucky SDR.
And we're standing by for Don. Down in Tennessee, he's firing up his PA.
Okay, Jim, it should be better.
Oh, yeah. I think it is, by gosh. And why don't you still give me about 10 seconds and let me see what the difference is between my Kentucky SDR antenna and my local 7300 dipole antenna, Roger?
The dipole antenna, Roger.
I think we doubled, Jim. You doubled.
Yes, sir. We doubled there. But, okay, so now I'm listening also on my local antenna, which you're about 10 over on it. That, Roger?
Yeah, you're a good copy here, too. And the beam is actually, let's see, yeah, I'm on the rotary dipole, which is, I can favor you just a little bit more. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I better leave that alone. Should be copying. Okay, I just wanted to tell you that I've got the double windscreen on the mic.
Yes, sir. It sounds good. Yeah, direction from you would be directly north. Directly north. That would probably put us right in the middle of it, Roger?
Right, yeah. I'm about, just about there. So, yeah, I just wanted I got good reports during the weekend and got good reports. So, I think it's working nice. Let's see, yeah, still got it in the speech processor normal. And with the, you suggested I didn't have it at hand last week to double up on the windscrreen, and I did find the other windscreen, and so I doubled up on it. Over.
Yes, sir. I've only detected a couple of incidents, but by and large, I think it's just beautiful. And also, too, if you wanted to just experiment, we're talking about just little nebulous things here. If you wanted to, but they are part of the audio spectrum and the total audio signal. If you wanted to try maybe another larger windscreen where you have a kind of like a ball thing there, that might give you, and you might not need double windscreens, small windscreens, but one large one, you might try that also. There's a world of opportunity for experimenting, Roger.
Right. Yeah, this is on a headset, the headset with a boom mic. So it's, kind of small, but, yeah, I just wanted to stop in here. I didn't hear anybody call you and let you know that things worked out great. And I don't guess I need to touch up the EQ anymore. It's still in the same settings we did last week. Over.
Yes, sir, it sounds great. And what I was going to say, even though that might be, if you tried another windscreen, a bigger one, and it was like a big ball in front of you, as long as you're not having to read text or something like that, it would work also. It just gives you maybe just a little bit better performance as far as breaking up those air currents before it hits the diaphragm of the microphone, so you never have any problem at all. You can always just actually work that mic any way you want, but I suggest working it just the way you're working it. Roger?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do have to occasionally, look at the keypad. Anyway, thank you, Jim. You're sounding great. I did notice QSB, though. Boy, you took a big dip and then right back up again. So the band's kind of poor, considering, we're not that far. We're not that far apart. But care. Thank you, KC9VKV, Unfortunate.
Roger, Don. And what radio is that you're running?
It's the Flex 6600 M model.
Yeah, Roger that. It really sounds good. I like that. And do you do mostly DXing, or how do you run that radio?
I do. I like to reg chew, and I like to. I do quite a bit of contesting, mostly CW, which is no audio, but mostly CW. But I do get on. Matter of fact, this weekend I'm going to do a little bit. I don't think I'm going to put a tremendous amount of hours in, but I am going to get in the what they call the WPX sideband contest this weekend. So I'll be using this audio for that. Over.
Roger. Now you have what is that, a 3-element Yagi kind of thing?
The beam. I'm not on the beam right now. It's pointed west. I'd have to turn it, which I could, but hopefully we don't need it. And sometimes it's at 80 feet. This rotary dipole is at 65, and normally on a skip between you and I, it wouldn't make that much difference. A lot of times when the high angle is in, the dipole is probably better. But yeah, the 40-meter beam is 2-element, and then I've got some large tri-benders. They're called the JK antennas, and mine are the C31 JK, which is a 30-foot boom with monoband elements for 20, 15, and 10 on it. One at 8, one at 90, and one at 45 that I can rotate. And let's see, that holds 3 elements on 20, 4 on 15, and 6 elements on 10. Jim, I don't know if you wanted all that information, but that's it. Go ahead and force that.
Roger. Yeah, I've got. Gosh, at one time I had about 28 antennas around the house. Most of them are VHF, some UHF on 20-foot push-up pipes. We live on kind of a bluff, so there's no reason to get much higher than 20 feet because we have a pretty good shot out through the land. And I love working DX down towards the hills of Tennessee and Mount Mitchell, which is about 400 miles from me. I love to work that station. It's about 405 miles, and we work that on VHF.
Oh yeah, very good. I've never been really geared up for VHF. I know it would be nice, but yeah, just primarily 10 meters through 160 is what I can do here, and really appreciate it. I'll let you put out another call, and maybe you can help someone else, Jim. KC9VKV, unfortunately, that's it. And yeah, my sorrow for seeing the passing of Charlie also.
Roger, Don, thank you so very much. Appreciate that. We miss Charlie a great deal. It was always a pleasure when he would join us. Just was the highlight of the show, I felt like, and it was a reason for being there. And he will be missed. 73 there, Don. Gosh, good to talk to you, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call and a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73, Don, and we'll catch you later. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Give me a shout.
This is K4GHS, you copy?
I do, sir. Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign.
I do, sir. Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign.
Yeah, this is Kilo 4 Golf Hotel Sierra near Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Just want to know what kind of skip conditions are.
Well, it's not really skip. It's just normal propagation, you know. It's sounding pretty good. I'm on my Georgia. Well, I'm actually on my North Carolina SDR. Why'd you come back? Give me your name, sir.
SDR. Why'd you come back? Give me your name, sir.
Yeah, the name is Ben, Bravo Echo November, and you're about 20 over S9 here out near Winston-Salem. We're in small Carolina, about 18 miles west of Winston-Salem, and we're running about 200 watts to an ICOM 7800, and the antenna is 160 meter dipole that's up about 70 feet. And can you phonetic? I got Kilo Charlie 9 Bravo Kilo Victor. Is that correct?
That's pretty close. It's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger, roger.
9 Kilo Charlie Victor Kilo Victor. Roger, roger.
You got it that time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And like I say, I'm in my Virginia SDR. You're sounding really good. About 15 over. Roger, roger.
Virginia SDR. You're sounding really good. About 15 over. Roger, roger.
Oh, thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate the report. I was trying to make a contact with a friend of mine down in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and we were just not able to copy each other. He said I was weak, and he was right in the noise level, and I was just wondering if the band was really shut down or whether we were skipping over. And then all of a sudden I came across your signal, and it was so strong I figured I'd give you a shout. I won't hold you, Jim. Thanks very much for the report, and hope you have a good Easter, and we'll look for you again. KC9 Victor Kilo Victor K4 Golf Hotel Sierra.
Roger, roger. Ben, you got a good position in North Carolina there. That signal is really great. Sounds really good. And if you'd like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, roger, Jim. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. I'll check that out and see what it sounds like. 73.
Yes, sir. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Like that. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I hear somebody calling back there. It's actually a subliminal thing. It's I think it's below my noise level, but I hear a voice back in there. Okay, so I'm on my Virginia SDR. You're about even par with the noise level there. Why don't you come up on that mic and give me your call sign one more time?
Come up on that mic and give me your call sign one more time.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Sierra.
I got Kilo Echo something Foxtrot Sierra. Can you give me the call sign again?
So something Foxtrot Sierra. Can you give me the call sign again?
This is Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Foxtrot Sierra.
Zulu Foxtrot Sierra. Roger, roger. What's the name there?
Zulu Foxtrot Sierra. Roger, roger. What's the name there?
Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Foxtrot Foxtrot Sierra.
Roger, Roger, Zulu, Foxtrot, Sierra. What's the name there?
Zulu, Foxtrot, Sierra. What's the name there?
First name is Matt.
That's M-A-T-T, Roger?
That's M-A-T-T, Roger?
Roger, Roger. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I'm a little bit away from you, so this is probably not coming through very well.
Roger, what radio are you running, Matt?
Roger, what radio are you running, Matt?
This is an FT991A, Foxtrot Tango 991 Alpha.
Well, Roger, Roger, sounds pretty good. I really don't have, you really don't have a good enough signal for me to critique the audio, but I do have a handle on it. Let me just say that the first thing would be to make sure that that radio is running in the wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger.
100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger.
Roger. I'm a newbie. I'm going to have to look that one up. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Do look that up because if you're in a lesser mode, it'll be rolling off the top end, and your transmitter will not be reaching its maximum capabilities there as far as audio channel top end, and that's what we want because that's really critical as far as intelligibility. Most articulation occurs in those upper frequencies, and if we start rolling them off by being in lesser modes than 100 to 2900, we kind of defeat our purpose. Roger, Roger.
To 2900, we kind of defeat our purpose. Roger, Roger.
Roger, I appreciate the feedback, sir.
Okay, now you are up there to about 8 dB above the noise level of the Virginia SDR, so I could hear you. Your audio sounds pretty good. Why don't you do this? We usually suggest running that compressor processor at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Compression processing on, and depending on how it's labeled, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. You can take notes on that if you want.
Or 30 out of 100. You can take notes on that if you want.
Roger, I got it. I'll check that out. Thank you.
Roger. Then once you get that compression processing squared away, move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, stretch out the front of that word. Don't worry about the second half of it. Just use the first half, audio, and adjust your mic level until your our ALC meter is running 7. 7 on your ALC meter as you say audio and adjust your mic gain to get there, Roger.
Say audio and adjust your mic gain to get there, Roger.
Very good. Gotcha.
And I think you sound pretty good on your EQ. You could always punch up a couple of clicks of additional treble EQ from where you are. Say 2 clicks treble boost from where you are. Make sure your mid-range is flat. Make sure your mid-range is flat and boost your top by 2 clicks treble EQ. Roger?
Boost your top by 2 clicks treble EQ. Roger?
Roger, mid-range flat and click up the treble just a little bit.
That's a Roger. That's a Roger. And then if you get a chance, drop back by next Friday and we'll take a listen to all that and see what it sounds like. Should sound just beautiful.
Listen to all that and see what it sounds like. Should sound just beautiful.
Again, I appreciate the feedback, sir. I'm going to have to look at the radio as I should be, but again, appreciate the feedback. 73.
Yes, sir, and I just went to my Kentucky SDR receiver, and you came up about 10 additional dB from where you were, so I've got a really good signal. I'd like to get a little bit more of a recording. Why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, Roger?
Best thing you like about your radio, Roger?
Oh, I'm just getting started. This is actually a borrower. I'm borrowing this from my father-in-law, who was nice enough to let me try it out. I just got my general and my advanced earlier this year, so I'm just kind of exploring the hobby. I'm looking to get a radio, actually.
Roger that. Well, you're kind of playing with a great, facility there. Amateur radio is just one of the neatest things that you could possibly do, and it's, I think, pretty well rewarding in all kinds of situations, and you meet a lot of folks, and like that. So I wish you a great amount of luck, and may all your contacts be beautiful, Roger.
And may all your contacts be beautiful, Roger.
Roger, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Same to you. I wish you a happy Easter and 73.
Roger, Roger. And if you would like to hear that radio with the audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call and a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to our, Qso-Vlog page. And on that page, will be this recording will be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Roger, Roger. So 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo India 4, India Radio Sierra.
Radio Sierra station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Radio Sierra station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign. Yes, my call is Kilo India 4, India Radio Sierra. KI4IRS, name is Jeff, 18-wheel remote, over. NA3P.
NA3P, stand by just a minute. I'm working at Jeff, who's on an 18-wheeler remote, I believe. Now, how does that work, Jeff?
18-wheeler remote, I believe. Now, how does that work, Jeff? It's been some years since the last time I talked to you, but I am ICOM 7300. And I'm using a site called remotetx.net, and he has a software to go with the Raspberry Pi to make it short, the story short, to connect to the radio and then connect to the internet. It bypasses this new Wi-Fi routers that uses that TGNet system there, over.
Yes, sir. Well, gosh, it's just absolutely clean, buddy. I couldn't even tell that you're emoting. It's just a beautiful signal and just a classic 7300 top audio kind of sound, Roger.
Top audio kind of sound, Roger. Well, I appreciate it, sir. We was looking for a system to use, so I wouldn't have to put my equipment in my 18-wheeler anymore. And that's what we come up with, and it seemed to be working pretty good. Just wanted to say hello to you, Mr. Jim. It's been a while there, Roger.
Yes, sir. Your audio curve is just beautiful, very intelligible. There's no backing up. It sounds like you're right at that 3 dB mark, which means your average percent of peak modulation is somewhere around 80 to 85%. So, gosh, you couldn't ask more than that. And if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call or a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, we appreciate what you do, and you keep on doing your thing there, sir. You helping a lot of people out here in the amateur community, no doubt about it. And give me your suffix one more time. It's a KC9, I think it's VKV. Is that right, over?
Victor, Kilo, Victor. The whole call is Kilo, Charlie, 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor. And Jeff, where are you at the moment?
Sure. And Jeff, where are you at the moment?
I am located in a little town in Tennessee called Humboldt, Tennessee. And I'm actually headed, I'm going to stop over here by the bank for my wife and pick up her, what she likes, you know, that green stuff. But I'm in Humboldt. To answer your question, I'm in Humboldt, Tennessee there, Roger.
Roger. That audio is just beautiful. I looked at it closer on my VU meter, and you are 3 dB dynamic range. That's just beautiful. So I'm assuming you're using a cell phone to get back to your base?
Cell phone to get back to your base?
Yes, sir. I use a cell phone. Actually using an Android cell phone right now. It's the software that Mr. Marcus used over there, the remotetx.net, is a browser-based type software, so you can use it on any platform there, Roger.
Oh yeah, well that's just great, man. You couldn't have made better choices at all. It's just perfect. I would suggest running that kind of an operation. It's just so transparent. It's very seldom that you find an interconnect that transparent. So you did a great job there, Jeff. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And there's another station out there. Other station, come back. Go ahead.
Station out there. Other station, come back. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jim, this is November Alpha 3 Papa, NA3P. And we've talked before, but I have a new setup here on this ICOM 9100 driving a Mercury Lux amplifier over.
Hey, Roger that. Where are you located, sir?
Where are you located, sir?
I'm located in Culpeper, Virginia, over.
Roger that. And what's the name there?
Roger that. And what's the name there?
My name is Dick, Delta India Charlie Kilo, short for Richard, over.
Hey, Roger, Dick. And I'll tell you what, buddy, why don't you give me about 10 seconds or so. Tell me about your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find us a better path.
Okay,
I'm driving a 100, going to a Mercury Lux, which is peaking at about 1 kilowatt, and my antenna is a myantennas.com end-fed wire, which is hanging in my back at about average 5 feet maybe on the average. It's not terribly high. Let's see, I don't know what SDR would be best for you there at this time of day, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Back to you. KC9VKV from NA3P.
Roger, Dick. I'm using the Milford PA SDR, and you're just about 30 over. Roger.
PA SDR, and you're just about 30 over. Roger.
Yeah, that one up in Pennsylvania is usually pretty good. I listen to it quite often. I'll tell you, about a week ago when I got this Mercury Lux, I had some problems with not only my audio, but I was getting a little RFI, but I put toroids and snap-on ferrite beads on everything coming and going from the radio to the linear, and my grounding system has been pretty good. I've never had any RFI problems. The audio, I've been jerking it around back and forth, but I think it's okay now. But I've got 3 out of 10 on the compression. I'm not the LC is not bouncing up much more than 2/3. Transmit bandwidth is 100 to 2900. The only thing I can really change on this thing is the bass and treble. I'm running a straight SM30 mic with the high cutoff switch not engaged, so it's picking up the full audio. So back to you, over.
Roger, Roger. This sounds beautiful. Now, I would just suggest that you take a look at your radio and make sure that the bandpass is 100 to 2900. That will allow that transmitter to be all that it can be. So it wants to be in the 100 to 2900 transmit band width. Roger?
To 2900 transmit band width. Roger?
Oh, yes, it is. I checked already. That's what it said at, over.
Yes, sir. It sounds just beautiful, and I figured it was. But, it's always good to just verify that, because it'd be a shame to do everything and then be restricted by some internal filter that say, oh, well, and run that for 3 years and say, why did I do that?
And run that for 3 years and say, why did I do that?
There was a point where I had my radios completely screwed up for quite a few years, and then I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago, somebody said, hey, check this, check that. I said, check what? How do you do that? I ran my radios really messed up for many years before somebody finally clicked the light bulb on for me, over.
Roger, so you're just crystal clear. You're running a KW. Is that a truck or car or what?
Crystal clear. You're running a KW. Is that a truck or car or what?
No, we're sitting here. Oh, the noise in the background is a generator. We're on generator power. If you're hearing that thing in the background, we are on generator power. We've had a windy, gusty day, and it knocked my power out, so I'm on home generator power, over, and what you hear is a generator, over.
Wow. What kind of generator? How much power is that generator putting out, sir?
Wow. What kind of generator? How much power is that generator putting out, sir?
12,000 watts for a peak. It can peak for short periods at 15 kilowatts, but it's pretty beefy. It can run almost the whole house except for my heat and air conditioning system, over.
Wow, I would imagine so. That's a lot of kilowatts there. I think we're trying to figure out what those usually Conrack whole house systems, how many watts they run.
Whole house systems, how many watts they run?
Well, I don't have a Generac. This one here has wheels, and it's kind of a portable one, but it's a big, heavy-duty portable one. The Generac, I've seen a lot of those go 21 kilowatts, 21 to 30 kilowatts, some of them. In a perfect world, I would have a Generac, but I don't. Generacs, they want you to feed them with propane, and we have no gas here. We have no natural gas or anything. But in a perfect world, I'd like to have a Generac, but we went cheap. We got a big Westinghouse portable generator, but it's about as big as you can get for a portable generator, over.
Yes, sir, and it's portable on whose back? And just a question now, how does it start? I'm assuming it's electric start, Roger. It's not something you're going to pull start, Roger?
It's electric start, Roger. It's not something you're going to pull start, Roger.
No. It's no pull handle on it. It's got a small battery, and it's got a small lead acid battery about the same size you'd see on a large lawn tractor, and you just push a little button and it starts. Or it's even got a remote. You can push your remote and it'll start. But yeah, it's just push the button, it starts. Push the button, it stops, over.
Roger. Well, just your radio is just sounding beautiful there, Dick. And if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in the series of 3000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
3000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. Well, thanks for the audio check. I'm glad everything's working. I was working on this thing quite a bit for the last few days, trying to get things tweaked, asking some of my associates on the Canadian American net that know my voice quite well, and also listening to SDRs and doing a lot of stuff. So I figured I had it pretty well worked out. But it seems like everything changed when I hooked this linear up. I don't know, it was picking up things on my radio that hadn't been picked up before, because this radio is not connected to a linear until 7 days ago. This is a Mercury Lux, which is actually a legal limit amp. I have the ALC connected, so it won't do more than 1,300 watts, even if I turn the power up. I don't want to overdo it, but this thing will throw you a good 1.5 kW if you're not careful. So anyway, thank you, Jim, for the audio checkup here. KC9VKV from NA3P.
Hey, Roger, Jeff. That amp is just crystal clear, no distortion anywhere. And, I use a test just to see if how close I am to problems. And it's just a thing that if I've got some headroom in my audio system, like a 10 dB headroom that I'm padded down from or turned down from, I'll just turn the mic up all the way and see what takes off. And if nothing takes off, I figure I've got 10 dB headroom over my normal audio level, that I'm in good shape, So it's kind of like a problem looker for that if you're marginal and you're just below that point of RF and the AF, you'll find it by boosting your normal audio by 10 dB additional gain in the front end of your audio system. That's just a real quick test, but you're just so clean. I think you would be able to pass that test absolutely. It's just really one of the cleanest audios that I've heard, and I think you'll love your recording. So you have a good afternoon, sir, and a great weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Well, I want to do this thing for Charlie one more time. It saddens me to report that my good friend and fellow ham Charlie K1GZL became an SK last Friday morning at 6:15 a.m. Charlie was 91 years old and headed for 92 in July. He'd been quite ill for some time, but Charlie was a great ham, having dedicated his whole life to amateur radio. His passing is a great loss to our radio community and to me personally. The term 6SK rings much deeper now that it's associated with K1GZL, but may he continue to have good propagation in whatever form that takes. I first met Charlie back in October of 2018, and in our first QSO, he talked about working for the American Radio Relay League, better known as the ARRL, back in 1951. He did not last long there. It had something to do with putting up the wrong code practice tape, which was broadcast around the world. The problem was it was running at a much higher speed than announced. It was near triple what it was supposed to be, but Charlie had already left the building and only learned about it later after many unhappy code copiers could not copy the code transmission for that evening. But then nobody's perfect and we all make mistakes, and Charlie would laugh about it later, saying, well, what do you expect from a phone guy? Charlie's amateur radio career dates back to 1948, when he was just a lad with his dad. His father was a ham radio operator also and helped Charlie along the way. There was a large map of the world in his father's radio shack, and it was covered with thumbtacks that represented radio contacts that they'd made around the world. And I'm sure that this played a major part in Charlie's love for DXing. Part of Charlie's ham radio career includes running phone patches to folks up in the cold Arctic Circle. But his favorite contacts were from down under, meaning AUSSIELAND. And if it wasn't AUSSIELAND, Australia, it was Tasmania. And sometimes these contacts were made with as little as 84 milliwatts for a 10,000-mile trip. In addition to his Aussie and Tasmanian friends, Charlie also had a lot of friends in this country, like Craig, WA3ZDI, and Jim, WA3FET. But one friend he always enjoyed talking to was Captain Mike up in the Jet Aeronautical Mobile. And in addition, believe it or not, Charlie was even talking to the birds up there in his home QTH of Clarksville, New Hampshire. These birds were honking out CW, and Charlie was copying the mail. He said they sure transmitted a lot of D's for some reason. Charlie's QTH looked more like a sailboat marina than a house. What with all the kinds of antennas he was working on, he was indeed the antenna master. But now and how he maintained all those antennas is a story within itself. Well, all said and done, I will greatly miss Charlie, K1GZL. It was always a pleasure when he joined me in opening up our Qso-Vlog network. I just want to say thanks, Charlie, for a great 6-year run on my Qso-Vlog network. You will be missed. Rest in peace. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Well, it doesn't seem to be too much activity for this afternoon, so I think we're going to pull the plug and take ourselves fishing. Always a great pastime. We enjoy that. So let me say threes to everyone, 73, and if you participated in the broadcast today, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and it'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So with that being said, let me return the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.